Okay, so my microphone screwed up a second time while trying to narrate this. Now, um, because I'm trying to do this on the fly, I'm probably going to miss a lot of information now that I was giving you before. So at the moment, I'm just going to fill out the details for the Apache that I had in before, work out the pounds per minute. Um, but yeah, the first video I was quite happy with it because this is me actually setting this up ready to go for myself um, in Syria to plan out some Apache missions there. So I cover off some pretty good details, but I apologize, they're gone now. They're lost to time because yeah. Anyway, I'm just working out my calculations here and double checking that I'm close enough with what I'm doing. So we end up getting to 6.4 pounds per minute. Now, until we get the Apache, this is probably close. I mean, I've put in the cruise speed as 100, but the max speed is about 158. Not that that matters because there's no tick next to it because we're not using that as an actual it's not a necessary thing. It's just to give you the information at the bottom of the screen as to what you can and can't do with basic stuff in your aircraft because it doesn't go too full on. So we're just going to save that as a prototype, and I'm adding at the end the .spa because I think it saves it normally, but I just like to add that. That's not something I've really tested because, let's be honest, the little things weren't hugely important at the time I was actually, smashing this out. So I've just created a folder for my custom aircraft. Now, they don't automatically load. However, when you save it, it does automatically put it in the aircraft list. So I might in a later version, well, I will in a later version to make things easier, just give you a little scripting file that it'll read and it'll automatically load the aircraft you want to load. Once you've created an aircraft, you can't really edit the aircraft, so you can either just not load it or delete it if you're done with it. So using the information that we've got off Google Maps and setting the ruler, we now have distance information that will work with the aircraft. So I start putting in some waypoints, talking about some stuff. And because we've got about 6.5 hours worth of flight time on this thing from my calculations, which could be wrong, this thing just does not run out of fuel. So I'm sitting here laughing my butt off at how many waypoints I have to drop until I start getting, half an hour left of fuel. So now I'm just checking out the times, how long it's going to take. So that's about a 14-minute flight between those two airfields. And I'm thinking, it didn't really occur to me at the time that this thing can stay in the air for about 6.5 hours. So I'm just dropping waypoints, willy-nilly, basically doing the whole rounds. Yeah, so I cut that short, and that's where we finally get, we're basically gone all the way around the map, and then the last waypoint that I put in is, half an hour fuel. And then I put like a little map note in there and say, this is where I'm going to crash, which is not far out of Aleppo, actually, because I know that helicopters aren't my strong point, but, I couldn't help myself. I have to get the Apache. I love that helicopter. That's like one of the coolest things. But anyway, we clear the map. I go, all right, well, let's have a look at, the actual mission that I would like to plan out first. So now we've got the information, we can kind of plan this out without, even having the aircraft, just to see what we can and can't do. So I'm going to try and remember what I was talking about here. I think I'm just looking around, thinking about what we could possibly do. So clearly there's going to be some kind of a strike or, combat or something. So I figure, all right, well, we'll just take off from the international airport, and we'll go through the valley, and that's going to take me 35 minutes to get there, I think. So then I add the task on waypoint 3 through the advanced flight plan details, and we go to waypoint 3 and we add half an hour to search for targets of opportunity, and I add that 30 minutes there. So that 30 minutes goes on top of the time that's already there. So you can see that when you go to the waypoint. I mean, you'll see it if you add a task to the leg, you'll see that in this mode. But if you go to the waypoint data mode, you'll see that there's 30 minutes added to search for, you know, targets of opportunity. And that brings out the total time on there to 65 minutes or something like that, I think. So, and then I'm like, all right, well, once we finish that, we'll take off. I'm not really thinking too far ahead at this point. It's just kind of laying out a base idea. So we'll put some bad guys there. And I thought, you know what, it'd be cool if I could time this and, you know, get some kind of an aircraft like a Hornet or whatever to meet me there. So I think, all right, we'll get a here I'm describing how the, you know, time adds up and how it works. So because the next waypoint there just tells you that it's 75 minutes before I actually get the time before I get there. So I add that. I've saved that plan. We can come back and change that later if we want to make changes to it. But I go, all right, what we'll do, we'll add a Hornet. After I have a think about it, we'll add a Hornet. This doesn't have the external fuel tanks, so you know there might be some extra work to do. I might add the ability to, you know, so you don't have to calculate it yourself. One of the things I'm quite happy with is the fact that it will actually tell you the fuel consumption. So we're less than half an hour fuel already at takeoff, according to the details I've put in, which, you know, if you want to change, you know, you can create a custom Hornet anyway, with the details that you know, if you cruise at a different speed, if you use a different, you know, whatever, you can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tanker, because I think, you know, we need to take up time. If I want to get these two to meet on time, we have to take up time. So I might as well put in a tanker, and I give him about 10 minutes for that, which takes him up to about another like 20 minutes or something like that, which is close enough, but not quite close to be accurate. So this is one thing that I like about this, is you don't have to go into the mission editor and actually make the mission, you know, fully, and then realize that the timings are off and stuff. I mean, that's one benefit of many, I guess. I just like using this for planning. Like I said, I built this for me. I just hope other people enjoy it. So I end up putting in the, yeah, there we go. I go, all right, we'll add another waypoint, and that'll be the strike waypoint. So, you know, we'll just check the times, make sure everyone's matching, but they're not. We're off about 5 minutes. So what I do is I'm saying basically, what else can I get this Hornet to do? I can't get him to do anything else really that's, you know, not boring. So what I'll do is I will just get him to take off 5 minutes later. But now we're going into Zulu times and extra stuff. I have to give his flight a flight name. So I just call it Hornet. And I think I give him a task of just search and destroy or something like that. Search for targets of opportunity. Yeah, search for targets of opportunity. And then I make him take off 5 minutes later, because Zulu time at 0, that's mission start. Whatever number you add in there is extra time. And we won't worry about radio frequencies or anything like that. I'll just, you know, we'll just save it as is. And you can click on Zulu time to see if everything's worked out all right, which it has by the looks of it. Close enough times. I mean, I can't really see now because the video I'm watching back is really small, so I can't really read it properly. And I'm thinking, you know, once you save this, you can also send this to your friends, but not tell them that in the DCS mission editor that you've actually sent 2 MiGs to meet him where the tanker is. So you can really just kind of, you know, keep him on his toes. Or, you know, your whole flight, whatever. Anyone who's doing the mission, I think, you know, I figure, oh, we'll put the clamshell in there because we'll just say, you know, this is what we're attacking or that kind of thing. You know, plan out the mission, or, you know, put in you know, the ground forces here. So, you know, you have to give the aircraft carrier a wide berth. So either you can match what's on the server, or you can use it to kind of plan out your own mission and timing and stuff without going into too much detail, just to give you an idea of what's going on and the timings and that kind of thing. Then you can add it to DCS. Or, yeah, like I said, you can actually plan out your path on a server if you wanted to, like a proper flight plan. So it does have a lot of different uses. And then there was one thing that I get into a little bit later. I start talking about adding the airfields and airfield waypoints, because when I was in my last stint of DCS and I was playing it, oh, here we go. So I'm just going to save the map and plan, generate data. I've got no radio frequencies or anything, so it just gives me the basic info. And you can also add extra, you know, text if you want, and then save it. So that's what I did. And then you go save map and plan. This, I can't remember what I call it, something like the Apache Syria thing. We'll probably come back to it, you know, when the Apache comes out, or before the Apache comes out, if I start getting some ideas on you know, what kind of a mission I want to do. But already we've got, you know, kind of like the timing idea and, you know, something to do. But yeah, in my last stint of playing DCS, I'll get back to that. It got to a point where I was putting in the airfield waypoints so that I could hit them, you know, like do it by the book kind of thing. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool, you know, if, like, I love the casualness of the servers, but it'd be cool if it could still be, you know, friendly and not, you know, nerve-wracking, but just add that little bit of extra professionalism to it, you know, if you wanted to, and actually mark out the airfield waypoints, which you can do in Shotgun Pinboard. So at some point here, I go, all right, let's add an airfield. I don't name it or anything, but I just add an airfield for Minak or whatever it's called, and a waypoint. So, you know, you can tell your flight team or whatever that, you know, if you're coming from this direction, enter northwest waypoint, that kind of thing. And then you can follow the plates, which you can add the plates to the airbase if you wanted to, or create the plates for your server. See, that's the cool thing with this. You can actually create the plates for your server and then send them along. I mean, it doesn't save in the save file itself, but if you give them the map mission file and you give them the plates folder, if they stick it in the saved packages folder, they'll be able to see those plates as well. So, you know, it gives us an opportunity to really, you know, stylize and, you know, if you want a particular server that's done a certain way, you know, you can do it. We can do that now. I know trying to keep it standard across the board helps, but let's be honest, there are servers out there that change the radio frequencies. So you might as well have the ability to save those radio frequencies and come back and change them when you need them changed. So we just hit done there. I just mouse over the, yep, so from there you can open up the plates, but I didn't name it, so it comes up as no name. But yeah, so that's the beginning of our Apache Syria mission. I hope this has shown you how you can use Shotgun Pinboard in probably multiple different ways to help you out. And thanks for watching.